Life is simpler than you think. Sometimes all we need is a new outlook. Sometimes perspective comes in form of health, loss, change, and challenges. But the key is something changes in our lives or thoughts that encourage us to view our lives through new eyes. I come before you today with the request that you look at these three simple rules in life and see what you can do to become better and improve your existence and perspective. Number one, if you do not go after what you want, you will never have it. I first came across the name Christina Kuzmic in an Instagram, and I loved her take on life. She was funny and real, and she really got my attention. It was later that I realized just how popular she was, and arguably the most famous, inspiring, funny mom on Facebook. This inspirational lady is not a stranger to devastation, as she came from Croatia, where she lived through bombings, turmoil, and loss. As a young mom, she experienced divorce, poverty, and depression. But she overcame all of those and attributes her success to her experiences. Christina is currently on a mission to get us to be honest with each other and to encourage us with humor as we continue on our journey. She's an example of someone who went after what she wanted and is still achieving it. Number two, if you do not ask, the answer will always be no. Recently, I had a person contact me via email and say that he was interested in chatting with me about a workshop that he was putting on in Lethbridge. The man was zooming in from New Jersey, and my first thought was, how in the heck did this guy get in contact with me? Lowly old Dana from Lethbridge, Alberta. He had a plan, a venue, and advised me that he wanted me to be a keynote speaker. Me? Okay. So I had to admit this conversation was very odd as he was walking around. I want you to picture for a second, walking, and all that I can see on the screen, and I don't know if I can do it as well here, is up his nose because he's walking down the street of New Jersey talking to me. Now, the whole conversation was odd, and I wasn't actually sure if his request was real, but I did say yes. So jump ahead to January 1st, a few days before the event, and I see that Richard Lee Tye is a panelist for the Emerging Excellence Workshop. And I think, this must actually be real. So I contact Richard, I try to get in contact with Charles, and I act. And I said, did you actually have a plan for me to be the keynote speaker? And he said, yes. So he took a chance to ask a complete stranger to participate in his workshop. And I said yes. Then our roles were reversed. And I had to ask him to confirm that he actually wanted me to be there. I also had to choose to follow through, get out of my comfort zone, which allowed me to gain this experience with speaking in person while networking with a wonderful group of people. They say that the more you do, the more confident you become. Well, asking and saying yes increased my confidence and drive to continue on my public speaking path. Number three, if you do not step forward, you will always remain in the same place. I disagree with this one slightly because I truly feel that if you stay in the same place and never go forward, all the people on your journey beside you and around you will continue to pass you by, meaning you will be left behind. I want to share the story of Zarna, who's an Indian American mom chasing her dreams. Zarna was 14 years old when her mom died, and it broke her father's heart. The very next day, her dad told her, "You need to get married." Let's just say that Zarna had other plans. She moved to America to become a lawyer, got married, had 3 kids, and became a full-time mom. Zarna was the type of person who would entertain everyone at family gatherings and loved perfecting her talent. As her children grew, she found herself struggling and had a strong desire to go back to work. One day her daughter said, "Mom, you know that people entertain for a living, right?" Zarna couldn't believe that this was possible, to get paid to be funny. Her kids set up Zarna for some open mic night opportunities throughout New York City. And this resulted in Hillary Clinton and Kevin Hart casting her on their shows. And she is currently in the process of getting her own comedy special. Zarna is an example of a woman who stepped forward into a world she was familiar with and exceeded even her own expectations. Yesterday, I celebrated these questions in my life. It has been 10 years since Carl asked me on our first date to the Hurricanes game, and we created that last night. These are the signs that I created. And we stood there and got up on the camera again. And our first time, years and years ago, it was the kiss cam. And I said no, and we got booed. But yesterday, we had a cheering crowd. So the question that I leave with you, what if you were meant to inspire change in others? Each of you is concretely already amazing the way that you are. Now, I challenge you to embrace these 3 simple rules about going after what you want, asking the right questions, and stepping forward, because you never know what lives you are meant to change.